Dr. Baliga here. This podcast is on the NIH clinical trial, which showed that Remdesivir accelerates recovery from advanced COVID-19. Dr. Anthony Fauci said Remdesivir has a clear-cut, significant positive effect in diminishing the time to recovery. We think it's really opening the door to the fact that we now have the capability of treating. With these words from Dr. Fauci, I will be reading verbatim from the NIH, that is the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, news release on this study. Remdesivir is a nucleotide analog prodrug that inhibits viral RNA polymerases and has shown in vitro activity against SARS-CoV-2 virus. In an earlier podcast from a publication in the New England Journal of Medicine, where they administered at least one dose of Remdesivir in 61 patients with the intent of compassionate use of Remdesivir for patients with severe COVID-19. In this cohort, patients were hospitalized for severe COVID-19 were treated with compassionate use Remdesivir. Clinical improvement was observed in 68%, that is 36 of 53 patients. And this study concluded that measurement of efficacy will require ongoing randomized placebo-controlled trials of Remdesivir therapy. The NIH-sponsored study studied a much bigger cohort of 1,063 patients, which began on February 21st. Hospitalized patients with advanced COVID-19 and lung involvement who received Remdesivir, they found, recovered faster than similar patients who received placebo, according to a preliminary data analysis from a randomized controlled trial in this cohort of 1,063 patients. The trial, known as Adaptive COVID-19 Trial or ACTT, was sponsored by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, a part of the NIH, and it is the first clinical trial launched in the US to evaluate experimental therapy for COVID-19. An independent data safety monitoring board, that is DSMB, overseeing the trial met on April 27th to review the data and shared their interim analysis with the study team. Based upon their review of data, they noted that Remdesivir was better than placebo from the perspective of the primary endpoint, time to recovery, a metric often used in influenza trials. Recovery in the study was defined as being well enough for hospital discharge or returning to a normal activity level. Preliminary results indicate that patients who received Remdesivir had a 31% faster time to recovery than those who received placebo, and the p-value was less than 0.001. Specifically, the median time to recovery was 11 days for patients treated with Remdesivir compared to 15 days for those who received placebo. These preliminary results also suggested a survival benefit with a mortality rate of 8% for the group receiving Remdesivir versus 11.6% for the placebo group. The p-value was 0.059. More detailed information about the trial results, including more comprehensive data, will be available in a forthcoming report. As a part of the FDA's commitment to expediting the development and availability of potential COVID-19 treatments, the agency has been engaged in sustained and ongoing discussions with Gilead Sciences, the maker of Remdesivir, so that Remdesivir is available to patients as quickly as possible as appropriate. The trial closed to new enrollments on April 19th. NIAID will also provide an update on the plans for the ACTT trial, that is the Adaptive COVID-19 Treatment Trial, moving forward. This trial was an adaptive trial designed to incorporate additional investigative therapies. The first participant in the ACTT trial was an American who was repatriated after being quarantined on the Diamond Princess cruise ship that docked in Yokohama, Japan, and volunteered to participate in the study at the first study site, the University of Nebraska Medical Center, or Nebraska Medicine, in February 2020. A total of 68 sites ultimately joined the study, 47 in the US and 21 in countries in Europe and Asia. Remdesivir, which is developed by Gilead Sciences, is an investigational broad-spectrum antiviral therapy administered via daily infusion for 10 days. It has been shown to be promising in animal models for treating SARS-CoV-2, that is the virus causing COVID-19 infection, and has been examined in various clinical trials. This is a promising news, given the New England Journal of Medicine article found it was beneficial in 61 patients, and this is a much larger cohort of 1,063 patients. Remdesivir has broad spectrum activity against members of several families, including filoviruses, example Ebola, and coronaviruses, example SARS-CoV-2, and Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus, MERS-CoV, and has shown prophylactic and therapeutic efficacy in non-clinical models of these coronaviruses. In vitro testing has also shown that remdesivir has activity against SARS-CoV-2, and this study suggests it appears to have a favorable clinical safety profile. We await the full report in the next few days.